Well, Geoffrey Deuel, we are thrilled to have you here at the Western Film Fair and Nostalgia Convention. You have a career that spans 35 years, maybe even more. But to my knowledge, I think this is the first Western Film Fair that we have actually had a guest here who has an organized fan club, and people have been coming and calling and saying, we're coming just because Geoffrey Deuel is going to be there. So how many of you here in our live audience are his fans? Wow, give it up. Oh my gosh.
Oh, there's my wife.
Your biggest fan, the beautiful Jacqueline. So we are thrilled that you're here, and thank you for all of you great fans for coming as well. You're an inspiration. We love our fans. Where would we be without you? You also have a very famous brother. Your brother, the great and talented Peter Deuel, was a wonderful actor as well. And I know that you are spending a lot of your time now kind of honoring him and keeping his memory alive. You want to talk a little bit about what you're doing?
I don't know if it's honoring him on purpose, but I think when I talk about him to various people, it kind of ends up doing that. He was a superb actor, and more than that, he was very troubled about certain things that were going on in this world. So, like Patsy Pease talking about bipolar disorder. I had been diagnosed with that in, I think, 1973, and when it was called manic depressive illness.
Right.
But the thing with Peter, he shot himself, and I still today find it extremely difficult to say that, because I wanted for so long, and this is a sickness of mine, I wanted him to have been hurt by some other people rather than do the self-inflicted. Because that kind of, I think if I accepted the outside, then I could get off the hook in a sense. But he did shoot himself, and he had all the trappings of a very successful career. He had a TV series called Alias Smith and Jones, and was going really well, but he just wasn't satisfied with that, and so that's what happened. And again, I didn't handle it well. I get to know people handle those things well, but it really messed me up a lot worse because I was a little messed up as it was. But that was basically it. And I think about him, and this Laura Moretti, a friend of ours, she had gotten in touch with me, and she wrote a book about Peter, and she's the one who has his fan club. She formed his website and his fan club and stuff like that, and it's amazing. There are thousands upon thousands of people who back up Pete, and I've gotten some of the residual benefit of it too. But as far as right now, I'm just doing the best I can with the COPD I have, and it's fine sometimes, but other times it's just not that good. But I'm just enjoying being here. And Nancy, this is really good. I saw this when I came in. I said, "Oh my God, I got to talk in front of a whole bunch of people." This is. But anyway, thank you.
90% are your fan club.
Yeah, that's.
And the other 10% are joining it after this interview.
There's a bunch of shills. Yeah.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here, and we are so pleased to, and I am so impressed with and encouraged by even you sharing your story and your struggle, and you talking about your brother, because I do believe, just like Patsy talked about, I think that we can really help each other by kind of sharing about the struggles we've gone through. We don't help anybody by keeping things hidden away. So thank you for your courage to even do that.
And it's just like you're saying now, it's just open, get the sunshine on it.
Yeah.
Even the such situation that's going on in America with the race problems. And we got to start talking about this stuff, because it's just nothing's going to happen if people don't share, because then they know more about it and the next person knows more. So hopefully people will do that.
Well, you're absolutely right. You've had an amazing career, and like most great actors, there always seems to be one role that you're sort of most identified with. And I think for you, my guess would be, it would be that wonderful 1970 film, Chisum.
Yeah.
Where you played opposite the great John Wayne.
Right. Right.
And you were Billy the Kid in that film. And what I loved is that your portrayal of Billy the Kid was much more nuanced and deeper and more rich than many other portrayals.
Yeah,
Do you want to share a little bit about what that was like, and what was it like to work with John Wayne, the great Duke?
Well, it was 1969. I was 26 years old, and so you can figure that out, what it makes me now. But but anyway, I got this role, and every young actor in town wanted it. It's always been a star maker. It's always been the coveted role, Billy the Kid, Billy Bonnie and stuff. And so I went and got the role after seeing a lot of tests and other tests and things like that. So I got the role, and I went down to Mexico, central Mexico, to do it. And I was, talking about scared. I mean, I had done some things, but not that much. And there I was, the first day that I was there. I hadn't even met John Wayne, and so I was out shooting the first scene that I'm shooting, and it's one of these things. I'm supposed to be a tough kid, and they got the fast gun and stuff, and so somebody's beating up on a guy I know who's a Mexican, and so I had to like do the gun and say, shoot the light out from under him, and just say, the next one goes in your guts. And so I did that. So I'm about to do it, and I see, just out to the left, I see, my God, it's John Wayne. And I'm going, oh my God, no. And he's just kind of sauntering there. He owns the place, you know. And so then what I did, I said, the next one goes in your guts, you know, and I'm really playing tough. And then finally, I'm forgetting the lines, and there are only about two. And I'm just going, oh my God, this is awful. They're going to send me home. They're going to get a plane and send me back to LA. So anyway, after a couple minutes, they said, well, wait, Jeff, just go ahead and take your time on it. And then Mr. Wayne, I always called him Mr. Wayne, I never called him Duke. And he came walking down, and he just said, oh, Billy? And I said, yes, sir, yeah. He said, look it, you're tough. You don't have to act tough. You've got the gun. He said, just take your time and do it, but don't act tough. And I'm going, yes, sir, yeah, you're right. You know, and all that stuff. And so then I did it, and it was okay. Now, there was still times when I was nervous at times, but he had just shown me that thing. Don't act, just be. And so it was really a neat thing.
Wow.
And the whole shooting experience, I mean, it's like, here you are, you're a kid, you're 26 years old, and you're getting paid to play cowboys and Indians. You're getting, I mean, it's just like, I mean, all the things down there. And you're sitting there drinking tequila with John Wayne. You know, I mean, just imagine him. And I love tequila, whether it was John Wayne or not. But he loved it too, so he figured, well, Jeff, my hair was always getting longer and stuff. And so he was kind of funny, because we had different politics at the time. I was opposed to Vietnam at the time. I'd been in the Army and had a real good record, but he would just tease you to try to get a rise from you.
Wow.
But it was one of those experiences that you don't really believe is happening. It's so surreal, an overused world. But I mean, there I was, my God almighty. And I had the best horse. I had all these other things, and it was just marvelous. And then I finished the thing and got home, and it did very well and got very good responses. But back in 1970 when it came out. And so I just did a lot of television, and the movie that I figured was bound to come my way didn't quite come my way. I turned down one, and that one should have been the thing. But it's amazing how you do a John Wayne film and you start to think more of yourself and all that. But I learned something from that. But I had a real good career, and then I finally, didn't help me after Peter died. And so I just kind of took off and did other things and went back to school and international studies and various other things. And it's pretty much what I'm doing now at the
Well, you
moment.
have a huge range of interests: geography, history, art, science, travel,
yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Are you writing about
I'm
those
not writing,
things?
and that's the thing, but I'm definitely going to when I get home, and I'm just going to just start to let it go. I'm going to write about some stuff about Peter, and I don't know what I'm going to write about because I've had serious depression from time to time, and it was in my family. Talk about, what's her name?
Patsy.
Patsy. Patsy doing that, and just having the courage to open up and let other people see it. It's going to be very helpful for yourself, and just very helpful for some others.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna see about that. I've done a lot of writing and got some stuff that was, was received very well. So we'll see.
What
But
kind
there's-
of writing? Has it been mostly, has it been fiction or has it been nonfiction?
It's been nonfiction
memoir
mostly.
sort of
Yeah, I
thing?
was gonna do a memoir, but I was so bored with myself that I didn't think want to write. Such a narcissist that I talk about myself with people.
Yeah, but we're interested, so
Yeah,
do it for us, because
it's
we
just
would
hard
love to
for
read
me.
it. Well, you have a lot of TV credits. You mentioned television so much after the films, and in all kinds of genres, from westerns like High Chaparral and Bonanza. You did dramas,
Right.
FBI. What
Yeah, I
else?
did a whole bunch of those. The Name of the Game, Cannon, which I loved
Oh,
because I really
yeah.
loved William Conrad.
Yeah.
And Bonanza was
Yeah.
when I first thing starting up. Because when I was a kid, my family, we used to sit and watch Bonanza, and we had even names. My poor mother, she was called Hop Sing. My dad, it's just crazy. She didn't take to that too kindly.
Okay,
We
who
did.
were you?
Oh, I was Little Joe.
Little Joe,
of
I
course.
wondered.
And
Okay.
Peter was the more cerebral Adam.
Adam. Okay.
And
Who was
Dad,
Hoss?
I don't know who Hoss was.
Whoever was
He was
visiting.
wonderful. I got to know him quite well. He was really a wonderful guy. And my dad was, of course, Packard, right? Lauren Green.
Yeah.
But it was
Wow.
just crazy. And then you see yourself, it's like, the one thing I never got to do was Gunsmoke. I used to love it. I mean, that was such a great tale, and I wanted to see that and be in it. But one of the problems is in Gunsmoke, I mean, Christ, he was 6'7" or 8",
Yeah.
and so I was honest height 5'8", but with barefoot. But I mean, I can imagine they would have had to get a big huge box for me to play with them. Matter of fact, they had to put me on a box once when I was with Mr. Wayne, and they'd get me, come on, Jeff, get up here with the big boys, Jesus. Anyway, it was a trip, but I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And he said I'd met Mr. Arness, and he was great.
He was. Yeah. How fun. And you did sitcoms. You did
Yeah.
The Flying Nun and The Monkees.
That's right, I did the Monkees.
I
yeah.
love The Monkees.
Yeah, it was Susan Howard. People were
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
Dallas.
I know
Yeah,
Susan.
it was Susan. Yeah, she was
Oh,
really
my
sweet.
gosh.
She and I played newlyweds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That
And they
was
were
amazing.
zany, those guys.
I bet. Okay, how much of that was scripted, and was there a lot of improv on that show?
You pretty much had, they said they had the lines if they were basically going to do it. And then you went ahead and did it. But with the guys screwing around, especially Davy Jones, and them doing all that stuff, you had to be able to just lock your feet in and do what you wanted to do. And then they'd let you if you could.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know.
gosh, I love those guys. And then you also went into the sci-fi genre,
what
right? Did you do The Invaders? And you obviously
Oh
Planet
yeah, I
of the
did.
Apes.
That was one of my first lines was in Planet of the Invaders. But Planet of the Apes was something I did later on, and it was a TV series. Planet of the Apes only lasted about 6 months, and so I did that, and that was a kick. doing those.
Oh, I bet. How was that being, how many hours did it take to get into makeup?
3.5 hours, yeah.
I bet.
And you could get off it, get out of it in about 45 minutes to get rid of all the crap.
Wow.
But
every
it was,
day, that could be painful
yeah,
too.
that was a pain.
And hot.
Very hot, and it was one of those heat waves we had, and we did it out on Fox Ranch.
Wow.
If any of you are familiar, it's out around Topanga Canyon, and hot, really out there.
Wow.
And dusty and sandy, and it's just, but it was I was the guest star chimpanzee, I told everybody. I just had a real kick.
Oh, that's so
doing
great.
That. Yeah.
So you've had opportunity to work with all kinds of stars. Apart from John Wayne, do you have any other favorites that stand out to you?
Let's see.
Or any stories you can tell?
Let's see. Let's see. Well, I really liked working with Buddy Ebsen, Barnaby Jones.
Yeah.
Because these were the guys you really liked were the excellent actors. And they never carried on. They weren't condescending or anything like that. So I hardly ever ran into people that were snotty. Or Ephraim Zimbalist, for example, was such a gentleman. He was like that, and he was so sweet. And Buddy Ebsen was so nice to me, and we talked. And it was during a period that I was getting bothered by a few things. And what he had done, he was from Alabama, and he was just such a quiet, nice guy. And of course, he and his sister were hoofers when they were young kids on vaudeville and stuff, and did that circuit. But he told me the story. It was he and his mother and dad and his two sisters, maybe. They lived in Alabama, and they ran a rooming house. And so what happened was there were some bad guys that came in the area, just like the things you read about that we read. And they were taking over the place, and there was a black guy that was one of the people who lived in the rooming house. And that wasn't done in Alabama back then. And so what happened was there was one gun in the family, and they gave it to Buddy. And Buddy was, as you remember, he's just real tall and gangly. And so what they did was his father said, give Buddy the gun, he'll know better. And he had a horse. And he used to run because they had threats that they were going to kill the Ebsens or burn down their place because they allowed this Negro to live in the thing.
Wow.
So that's really what happened. So he did it, and I said, what happened? He said, nothing. He said, I was a little scared, but he said, nothing happened. And he said, I think quietly in the area they had a good bunch of people, and they let him go.
Wow.
So he was funny telling about it.
Wow. You worked with some greats. And you are great, and we're very grateful that you came and talked to us today, and looking forward to the book that comes out or whatever memoir is
everybody
next.
keeps talking about it, you know?
Maybe there's something to
Maybe
that
there's
then.
something, yeah.
So what is next that we can be looking forward to, that your fans who are here can be looking forward to?
Frankly, I don't know. And I think that I'm getting to the point where I'm going, okay, it's okay to I don't know. I've got to take care of my health.
That's right.
And, but I'll promise here, and there's a whole bunch of people here, is that I'm going to do some writing. And even if it's to write about the fact that I don't want to write, that might bring me into anything. I did it before, and I got all sorts of response when I was doing it for college and graduate school, but now we'll see what happens.
Oh, it'll be great. Well, you have so many fans here, but where can your new fans find you? You have a website, or where would you direct them to?
Where's the website? JeoffreyDeuel.com, they say.
There you go. Well, you're a delight. Thank you so much, sir. We love you.
Thank you.